Hello, everybody, and welcome to the FullRestore podcast. Actually, it's the Versus Seeker podcast, a new show where we talk about the lives and social cultural implications of trainers and trainer classes, and generally the people that you interact with on a minute-by-minute basis in the Pokemon world, and what it is like for them. Topics you may hear us talk about are like, why only a few Pokemon on their team? Why trainer classes? And why can some trainers do some things while others in the same class can't? And generally, what is the grand sociocultural implications of trainer classes themselves on the populace of these regions and their youth and their aged and their in-betweens? And with me is Swift.
What's up, yo?
And we're going to wing it on this one. And, shit, bird puns.
I am all about the bird puns. I make them all the time.
Well, I'm all about the Pokepuns because this is the Versus Seeker. I thought it would be fitting.
Oh.
I actually made a Vine when I realized what to call this. I was like, I need a name for this podcast. Versus Seeker.
Appointment. I came here to see you, and next thing I know, you've lost. Anyway.
So this episode will be on what I said. The sociocultural implications of trainer classes themselves on the populace. In X and Y, we run into a certain hex maniac at the end of Victory Road. Near the end. Middle, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I'm not cut out to be a hex maniac. Proving that at least some people in the Pokemon world try to be these classes as a social thing. It's like trying to be cool, or it's trying to be someone you're not, and all of that, which opens it up for all sorts of analysis. Is it cosplay? Is it lifestyle choices? Are they jobs? What are they? And I think Swift and I have come down to a pretty fun, while also being very depressing, but in a weird way, reason for what's going on in these worlds with these kids.
Yeah.
Would you like to give your opinion on trainer classes first?
When it comes to what I think of a trainer class, I think of it's what they specialize in. Like, I'm going to use bird keepers as an example, with my favorite type being flying. Bird keepers are essentially masters of the flying type. When they introduced sky trainers in X and Y, we really stopped seeing bird keepers at that point, because all we were battling with was Pokemon that were able to compete in a sky battle against these lovely everyday sky trainers, which were just placed half-assed around the region. And then they gave us Oros when they brought the bird keepers back. Why? Because they were important, and because Winona and all of her lovely splendor.
So
there are some, though, bird keeper wise, I'm not sure if it happens in the Oros games or whatever. There are some, as Pat mentioned, some trainers go by the trainer class, but they don't really follow it, like the Hex Maniac from Victory Road. And then there are some that are extremely hardcore, like the one on the route before Laver City, the one that actually acts like a dead person.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, when I look at a trainer class, it's essentially like, let's look at a high school for a second. You've got your jocks, you've got your nerds, you've got your band nerds, you've got your popular people, you've got your
cliques.
You got your cliques, right? Each trainer class is essentially its own clique. And people want to be in said cliques, so they will then pretend to be in said clique, and therefore they will adapt different personalities from each clique until they are
fully immersed.
Until it's fully immersed in it.
But,
like the one in Victory Road, that one kind of didn't work out.
But this is Japan. So it's not just a simple American high school clique thing. It is a mix of a high school clique, cosplaying, anime subcultures, and generally how fucking insane the Japanese youth is. Have you seen their vines? They're amazing.
Yes, I have.
Japanese and South Korean vines are just like the anime jokes and all that stuff in it, and like the, I mean, have you seen the Letisu Vine?
I don't think so.
It's a Vine where they it's a bunch of people standing in a circle, and they're all pointing at a cabbage. Okay,
Please tell
and
me I heard you right.
it only yes, a cabbage, and the camera only sees just the cabbage, and then their fingers come in from on screen, and all of them in a circle go point, 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 and they go kabitsu, 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 and then they turn the camera to a pile of lettuce, and then their arms do it again. So it goes kabitsu, 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 and it's like 9 people doing it. So it's kabitsu, 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 lettuce, 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 and they just start shouting and pointing at a pile of lettuce. Like with these, when given the art of video, these kids, these teens, and these probably 20-year-olds and all that stuff, they blur the line between the anime that they love and real life. Like, there's, like, if you just heard the audio, that sounds like it would just be straight from an anime. So, trainer classes are kind of the embodiment of this whole idea that taking shit to a crazy level.
Yeah.
Think of Doofer Town. Think of Doofer Town or all the Pokemon fan clubs. Think of how crazy those people those people can get over stupid trends.
Let's use one for example. The one from Red and Blue and Fire Red Leaf Green.
Ponyta,
The
Ponyta,
guy,
Ponyta.
yeah, there's that. And then there's the one where you sit there and listen to this dude's story, and he's like, "Oh, I've been talking forever. Do you want to hear another story?" And no. Oh, too bad. Here, have this. It's like you have to listen to this hour-long story that this really old guy
Is it a
is telling you.
Rapidash or a Ponyta?
Ponyta. Actually, technically,
That's
it's both because it
that's
involved the
bad
Ponyta,
translation.
and then it evolved into the Rapidash.
And its translation is just perfect.
Yeah, but it's like they're just. You have to listen to this pointless thing told
All
to you
right,
by this pointless character just to get a stupid bike voucher to give to this to give to this completely irrelevant.
Okay, let's get back on topic with trainers.
Yeah.
You mentioned Vendetta there, but Vendetta.
uh,
So back to what I'm saying is that the real question is, how does someone become a Pokemon trainer class? And what I think it is, I think it's paradoxical. I think it's circular. Kids grow up and they want to be Pokemon trainers, like your protagonist. But there's not a lot of education outside of the trainer schools. So when people want to be trainers, there's not a lot of people going around showing them what it's like to be just a normal trainer. What they see are these eccentric characters running around and on TV and everything that are taking on these funny roles. Like have you ever sat down and watched half an hour of Pokemon TV stuff in the games on the TVs? Those people are just like it's Japanese television. They're just like blah, 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 like superheroes and all this crazy stuff. Like there's no separation of what's real and what isn't when you're locked in a small Pokemon town. You don't know
ooh,
that that's not what people are really like.
ooh, you mean like Pokemon Studios from Black and White 2?
No, I'm thinking more just generally like ORS TV, like the
Oh,
educational
OST.
stuff. There's
Ah,
everything on ORS TV is supposed to be educational in some way to Pokemon abilities, Pokemon, how you treat Pokemon, learning Japanese or whatever. No, it's not learning Japanese. It's learning like that weird anime expressionism thing, like the shouting.
mm,
Have you ever sat down and watched that show? They teach you some funny phrases that are just like supposed to be those obnoxious
okay.
weeaboo sayings that you're supposed to just like walk into a crowd of people, put out your peace sign and wink one eye and have like a big crazy hairdo and just start shouting that like and it's just totally exactly what it sounds like they're trying to teach on that channel. It's awesome. But with such weird education, because Japanese youth, they go out in the world and they're like, okay, how do I be a trainer? And they start off and they're all like lasses and everything. And I don't think that's an actual trainer class. I think that's just like an atheist kind of situation.
You see, I agree with you when it comes to the terms of lasses are essentially
Classes,
the
preschoolers, school kid,
yeah.
schoolboy,
It's like it's an
youngster.
age thing because you've got your Poke fans. Yes, they're Poke fans, but they're adults. You've got your lasses and your youngsters and your
Yes, and that's the indoctrination starts, because
yeah.
it's starts with clothing, as most things start with in weird Japanese Western societies and everything. It starts with, okay, I'm gonna get some gear to go on my adventure, and lasses get the get up, and boys get the shorts. Shorts are easy, they're comfortable and
Oh
easy to
yeah.
wear,
Yeah.
and like that you can see that the shorts are comfortable and easy to wear thing is exactly something you'd expect a kid who's trying to fit into a thing would say. It's like, okay, we all wear shorts. Shorts are great. Yeah, and it's practice for the insanity that will come later in their life.
Yeah.
They don't have a specific type that they use when they're at this age, so they're just trying to fit in. And then as they grow older, probably to like 14 to 18 area, like the probably like what the Hex Maniac girl was, they start to pick up trainer classes and things. And we see these with not necessarily, I don't think, the bird keepers, but what are some amateur trainer classes? Not the Poke fans, because they're always like adults.
Yeah.
Um,
Amateurs, you got your dragon tamer.
no.
Dragon tamers are just no.
Well, they're practically veterans already.
Yeah, we don't talk about them. We don't talk about veterans.
What? What? You get your ass handed to you too many times?
Yes.
Yeah, they're tough.
I don't know how many of you lovely viewers have actually done Battle Institute battles,
Oh
but if
my
you've done Battle
god.
Institute battles and you've gone
So
up against a
good.
veteran, I look at their
Prepare for
teams of all
A
legends.
Raikou, a Moltres,
Yeah, you go up against
Latios.
Ico, the Moltres, the Registeel, and all that shit, and you're
Latios.
just like, fine, Latios. And if you're doing doubles, they've got to have a fourth Pokemon, so let's throw the Registeel in there. You go up
Um,
against teams like that, and you're like, oh,
so
because they're
let's get back
yeah.
a little back on topic. So, how do you
Yeah,
get
sure.
from a lass to a breeder, essentially? Or anything like that.
I was going to
Um,
suggest beauty,
to
but okay.
from a youngster or a school kid to a bug trainer to a bug maniac. I think let's follow that line. Let's follow. Boy wants to go on an adventure. Boy sees kids running around in shorts, joins in on the style, becomes a youngster, talks about shorts, then sees a bunch of bugs, becomes a bug catcher because he sees a bunch of people running around, they're being cool bug catchers. Yeah, yeah. And then eventually later in life they become a bug maniac. So
Yeah.
following that, here's what we see. We see kids seeing a bunch of trainers and wanting to be like them. So they have their imaginary game practices where they are these trainer classes that it's pretty easy to do and you just get certain clothing and then you brag about it. But then you have to do this cosplay role play thing. This big, colossal, global scale LARPing event, essentially, where
Like,
everyone picks a role and they have to try to stick by it.
yeah.
And we see a lot of trainers that don't really fit what they are doing. These are supposedly the trainers that are new at doing it.
Yeah.
We'll see psychics who just are clearly completely inadept. They're just idiots. It looks like they make themselves look like idiots. Like they don't even attempt to sound like they're smart. Like they attempt and they're just like
No.
some of the brains and brawn duos and stuff. Like there's some people that just don't really get it yet.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
there's a lot of fighters and battle kids and stuff, and the ninja boys, from Hoenn. Like there's a lot of people who are younger and they're just trying it out. They don't really get it yet,
Yeah.
and then they start to get it, and this is where it gets into the fun sociocultural implications. We start seeing people actually invest time into their role playing so that it's
Mm.
a hobby or a job or like it's they're legitimately devoting time to it. It's not a game anymore. It's like how people don't play Smash on the 3DS for fun a lot of the time. They play it to get better at it. People don't practice chess to have fun. They practice chess to be better at it. So it goes from being skateboarding with your friends to skateboarding or something or running or all that to try to improve yourself. So going with that, we see people go out and research. They exercise to be battle kids, to be fighters and judo
Yeah.
guys. They practice martial arts to be the battle girls. They research and catch specific Pokemon and actually study to become psychics. They're levitating balls around and stuff. They get the props, they get the Pokemon, they get the plushies, they get all this stuff. They invest money and time into it until they actually fit in and they're unrecognizable from anyone else doing it. And then they're like, okay, great, I'm doing it. I'm doing good. But who are they comparing themselves? They're comparing themselves to people who are adept at this. And those people, well, here's what happens, in my opinion. After doing it for long enough, I think you start to get a little crazy. It's War of the Worlds. It's fiction blurs with reality. People roleplay so much that they don't know when to stop. Psychics start to believe that they're really psychic. Fighters start to actually, at least some of the guys, start to act a bit more brawny and dumb, and fire breathers start like being insane. Electric guitarists just guitarist trainers are just like constantly just obsessed over thinking they're hot shit. And bird trainers are just like, and runners and breeders are, everyone just starts going crazy with their thing.
On the same topic you are at, have you seen the in-battle sprite for this bug maniac? He's hunched over, his face is all shadowed, and he looks insane.
And he has that anime dude black glint over the eye.
Exactly! Like,
Which is the worst thing ever.
You start out as this lovely bug catcher who uses nothing but fucking Wurmples to being this insane thing.
I mean, Pokemaniacs and collectors.
Oh, don't even get me started on collectors. Collectors are.
Let's take fishermen. Fishermen just take up being like, fishermen are actual fishermen. They catch Pokemon. They catch fish and Pokemon for food. Then they're like, maybe I should be a trainer. So they're like, all right, I'll be a fisherman trainer. And then they get the certain getup that they probably already have, and they sit out and they get a different lure to catch Pokemon to train. And they just catch a bunch of Magikarp, and then a kid walks up and they're like, oh shit, I'm a trainer. I gotta there's some Magikarp over here that I was gonna chop up for dinner. I guess I'll use them. And then they send Magikarp out. I have no idea what they're doing. They splash their opponents, then they faint. And then he goes home and roasts them and cooks them for dinner.
Are you referring to the 6 Magikarp trainer on the route just off of Mauville?
Yes. Well, just off of Dewford.
Is it just off of Dewford? There's one just off of Mauville, I believe.
There's
at least one every.
Yeah. But it's like, that's someone who has a job being a fisherman or a hobby being a fisherman. They just take up being a Pokemon trainer for a while. But then you get deep into the ocean and you get near Victory Road, and then there are fishermen or scuba divers at this point or anything that, that they chopped up some Magikarp to make some sushi, but they kept one of them. And they kept this Magikarp by them for a while, and they started to actually really grow on them. And then it became a Gyarados, and then they actually started winning some battles, and then it gets to their head, and then they're like, then they stop being a fisherman, they start just being a Pokemon trainer that just catches Pokemon, and then they become these people on Victory Road on these little tiny islands looking for the perfect spot to catch a big water monster. And they have these crazy sea monster teams, and they just turn into these insane islanders. It's the natural progression. And then, kids grow up seeing these people who are just out of their mind, think it's so cool, and then try to be them, and slowly deteriorate their brain until they're a veteran or a dragon tamer or an ace trainer, and they just either they're like an ace trainer and they actually learn to control it and then break out of their typing and then actually try to be amazing trainers, or they become veterans that just recluse in Victory Road and just recluse, and they have these insane Pokemon. They probably went through tons of Pokemon in their life, and they have these 3 or 4 that they stuck with their whole life, and they just devote all their time to just beating up kids or training to be better or getting a house in the middle of nowhere and giving kids flamethrower.
Mugging kids for money.
I mean, it's not mugging, it's working at that point. If you've devoted your whole life to being a trainer, it's your job to take money from other trainers. This brings me to ace trainers, okay? Ace trainers are all about collecting badges and getting to Elite Four. That is their thing. But no one ever challenges the Elite Four in the games. Only you do, and your rival or anything like that. Like, all these other ace trainers are just dicking around, and it makes you wonder. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let's look at Blue for a second. Blue, you're traveling through the entire game, and Blue's just like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. You'll never be able to own up to me.
Oh my
and
god,
then you,
some
and
of the
then
ace
you,
trainer females are just so like that.
yeah, I know. But then you get to Blue at the Elite Four, and he's like, I'm now the most powerful trainer in the world. And then you'll walk through him, and he's like, well,
Unless
what the
it's
fuck
Gen 1.
happened? Yeah. But then you look at him, he's like, what the fuck happened, man? I had all the best Pokemon, and then Professor Oak shows up, and yes, I'm now using Pokemon Origins as an example. But yeah, Blue's one of those rivals that you're fighting. You're essentially,
They go crazy.
yeah, you basically crossed paths with him enough times. You're like, okay, I know where you're going with this. I know you're supposedly better than me, but I've beaten you every time.
The reason why these trainers aren't trainer classes is because their trainer class is being your rival. Their trainer
Yeah, I
class
know.
isn't being best, it's being better than you. You know? And it's like Huey or Hugo or Hugh, his name's just Hugh, right?
In Gen 5 2?
Yeah.
Yes, in Gen 5
His
2,
trainer
he's.
class is obsessing over his Purloin. Everyone has an obsession
Yeah,
unless
he's.
they're like unless they're out to just have fun like Pearl, or they're just, they want to be research assistants or something, but like the obsession is so strong in this universe.
Yeah. Okay, so you got Blue, whose obsession is being better than you. You've
Silver,
got
whose
Silver
obsession is
taking out Team Rocket. You've got Brendan and May, who.
irony.
You got Brendan and May, whose obsession. They don't really have an obsession. They're just kind of there to be
They're too
helpful.
young. I think they're like 11, and they're
Hmm.
they're Hoenn. Hoenn is full of people who are just insane.
Yeah.
Like
You've
not
got.
Gen 1 insane, but just out to have way too much fun.
I mean, you've got Wally, who's.
Wally's
You've
not.
got Wally, who's legitimately sick, and you help him catch his Pokemon, and over time, he's there
I don't
progressing.
think they let Wally watch any TV, so I don't think he knows about the craziness.
I don't even think he does, but when you're battling against Wally and you're seeing Wally progress, Wally goes from being just this sick kid to being a formidable opponent, and his
Don't tell
battle
Laura
theme.
that. Laura fucking mopped him up.
Yeah, but if you look at Wally's theme in Oros, his in the battle theme that they gave him, you only ever hear it the one time, and it's not even in the original games. It was only in Oros. If you listen to his theme is essentially his progression from being sick to training with Ralts, going all the way to the Gallade, and him getting better. It's
And being
essentially his
rewarded with the Mega Evolution to show just how much he really cares about him.
about how much he really cares about his Gallade and how much training with his Gallade has actually made him better physically. Like, he's not sick anymore by the end of the game when you battle him at the Elite Four.
He has that
His
amazing little suit thing sweater that looks like pajamas.
Yeah, I mean, but that's Wally. You've got Pearl,
who's out to have an adventure.
Legitimately out to have an adventure, and is also out there to basically.
Pearl wishes he were in Hoenn.
Not only does Pearl wish he was in Hoenn, Pearl is also the rival of yours that is out to drain your wallet. If you're late, I'm gonna fine you $1 million Poké Dollars. If you're late, I'm gonna fine you this. If you're late, I'm gonna fine you that.
Before even trainer class stuff, he's just straight up delusional. I mean, the manga shows that. I mean, the thing about Sinnoh kids is that they like Hoenn kids watch TV, and in Unova, or not Unova, in ORS, the TV is a bit crazy and everything, but in the developed society of Sinnoh with Jubilife TV and all of that, like their shows are like, I mean, in the manga they watched like Power Rangers style, like Gundam shit, and they're like total nerds over it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, continuing on after Pearl, you've got Gen 5-1, which was your rival.
Oh my god, those two were insane.
Your rival in that, your rivals. You've got Charon, who's obsessed with actually being the best trainer he possibly can.
By researching
and actually physically doing it. You've got Bianca, the protege Pokemon researcher, by the end of the game, who's a goofball.
He's insane.
She wrecks your room the first time you battle against her.
Oh my god.
And then you've got N. Let's not even get into N. I think N's for another time.
He's not even a trainer. He's like AZ. He's like their trainer number is their trainer class is trainer.
Yeah.
They don't even want to be considered trainers.
Until you get to the end of the game, and he's like, by the way, I'm the leader of the crime syndicate you were just fighting, and now you have to fight me with the legendary dragon thingy. And then I'm going to lose to you and proceed to vanish for 2 years. Boom. Done. Now let's look at Hugh. Hugh is obsessed with finding his sister's Purloin, which he does get.
You will face my rage!
He does get it back, but it's evolved and really doesn't like people. And he has to deal. He has to deal with that.
The only redeeming quality of Hugh is that in the post game, you're checking up on him, and his sister is like, "Hey, everything all right?" And it's like the most real moment in all of Pokemon is when they're like, "Yeah, we're still working on the Purloin." Yeah.
Well, it's a Liepard at that point.
We'll keep working on the Liepard. It'll come around. But there's like this legitimate point where like he's not crazy anymore, and he's just like, yeah, Liepard went through some stuff. We're just trying to keep it company. Like how you would talk if like one of your parents went senile. It's just like we're trying to keep them company, just always be around and be there for them. And it's like, oh my god, did the Purloin like you're treating the Purloin as if it's like, jeez.
Yeah, and then you've got your Generation 6 rivals.
Oh my god.
Callum and Serena, whichever one you happen to be up against.
They're identical, to be honest. They are completely identical.
Yeah. But they're essentially, let's make a contest out of this. Holy shit, you and I started at the same time. Why are you better than me? I mean, yes, you now have Mega Evolution. Who cares? I have it now too. And by the end of the game, he's just kind of
about it.
Yeah. By the end of the game, Callum and Serena are essentially just experience grinding.
They're pro trainers. They're ace trainers. They really are just ace trainers.
Their parents are, so.
Are they like officially?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like these really professional trainers and whatnot, which essentially would make them into ace trainers because.
Okay, what was the weird thing about the black, or not? Maybe he wasn't black. Maybe he was like Indian or something. But like, the dark-skinned guy in Snow Point Temple who says he has a son or daughter where you live, who is supposed to be their father.
I don't know. But let's face it, none of your characters have a dad except for your ones in the Generation 3 games and Generation 6 remakes.
I mean, Generation 6. Yeah, the shipping.
Yeah.
The letter.
Yeah. Anyway, but then you
fight the professor. Oh, what?
Yeah. Then you got Trevor. What the fuck is his problem? He's like, I'm going to challenge you to my own special kind of Pokemon battle where we see how complete your Pokedex is. Who cares how complete my Pokedex is? Just let me beat the damn game. I
And
mean, God, man.
let's skip the last one
Which
and just go
one?
to Serena. I mean, yeah.
Just skip to
God,
Shauna?
yeah, Shauna. I always fuck up her name. Shauna's
Okay.
amazing. Shauna's
Shauna
amazing.
is amazing. Shauna's like the happy-go-lucky trainer who doesn't have a problem with anyone.
She's like what Bianca should have been if
She
Bianca
is what
were
Bianca
younger.
should have been.
Bianca
Yeah.
was too old. Bianca was like 16.
Yeah, in the Generation 5 1 games, they're 16. In the
But
Generation 5 2,
they act like they're 8 at the beginning of the game.
yeah,
Like
Generation.
they're in a kitty bedroom with like they turn from being like 6-year-olds to being like teenagers.
Yeah, no, they are 16 in those games, and in the Generation 5 2 games, they're 18.
Oh my god.
Charon is an Charon. Charon is an 18-year-old gym leader.
Yeah. And the playable characters are like a bit younger, like a tiny bit younger.
Yeah, the playable characters are either 15 or 16.
Yeah. Which
Um,
let's
so
just I think this deserves a red card for a moment here. So the Ferris wheel. First of all, the transgender dude in the Japanese version of the game. That's awesome. You know about the maid who's a dude, or he's not transgender. Sorry, that was very incorrect of me. He's not even cross-dressing or anything like that. It's just a dude. Like it's a maid, and she comes out to be a dude, and he's just like hiding or just like trying to get a better job by being a female one or something. Like it's a weird Japanese situation of just like
mm,
weird random cross-dressing for a job. But like when you're young, when you're all the other games, you read a book and you're like, oh, you don't understand these words because you're a fucking kid with no education, you know? But, and if you took any of those other trainers on the Ferris wheel rides, it would just be completely different because you'd be oblivious and you'd be reading it from their perspective.
yeah.
But from the playable character's perspective in those games, let me just say that, when I played Black 2 and White 2, first of all, when you meet your rival, like your not rival, the other playable character in the battle subway area, that was amazing.
That was great. I
Oh
love
my
how they
god, they're so
implemented
good.
him in there.
Those were great characters. She was amazing.
Okay, well, I always play as the female character, so it's
I sometimes do, and more now than then. So here's who I ran into. Okay, because you play as a female character, I played as the male. I ran into Beauty December, and like daycare lady, what's her face, Summer or something. Yeah, I think it was Summer. And December, the beauty was like part like being chased down by an evil organization or something or whatever, and like it thinks that you're out to get her or whatever. And by the last trip, she like trusts you, and I don't know if she like blows you a kiss or like I don't know what she does, but she does something held backishly romantic or whatever. And I was like, that was weird. And then when the season changed, I went up and the daycare aide person, it just won't stop talking about how hot it is and how sweaty they are and how, oh my, like not even teasing, just like legitimate concern. Like, oh God, my shirt's completely see-through right now. I'm sweating so much. God, it's really, really hot in here. And by the time when she walks out, she's like, oh my God, your face is as red as a pansy. Oh, how cute. Okay, bye. And you're just like, if you were a Japanese character, like if that was part of like, if they had an origins for that, it would just be nosebleed. Just nosebleed, just insane. Just like slow dripping nosebleed.
yeah.
So who did you run into on the Ferris wheels as a female
I
character?
don't remember who
Did
I
you ever
ran
go on
into.
them?
I went on it like that one time where you go on the
Yeah,
Ferris
with
wheel with
N.
N. That's about it.
Yeah. You got to read up on those conversations. Crazy stuff. Not to mention, who deserves their own podcast? Maybe, the the celebrities that you pick up their transceiver. In
I
expedition.
never finished that quest in the
I
game.
I thought I finished it, because I met them in real life and rode the Ferris wheel with them, which was so rewarding. But I didn't find out until later when it was spoiled for me when I was looking on the wiki, the whole Superstar thing. And I was like, oh, wow, there's over 50 phone calls. Like, you trigger them by walking in certain places. Like, you can totally miss all of it.
Yeah, you can, which is why I never finished it, because I never
Mm-hmm.
actually went ahead and went to every specific one, and I hated it.
But it's so satisfying when you trigger one, because I was walking around in the walled off city, and I was walking under the bridge, and I was like, dee-lee-lee-lee. And I was like, oh, it's her. I was like, hi, yeah, okay, bye.
Uh,
Those two were amazing.
I love how there's this like no video, audio only, and I'm like, can I please see who you are, please? This is killing me.
Oh my god, her big hat was so adorable. She has this
uh,
big pink. Okay, enough. Yeah, sociopathic tendencies of the trainer classes. So let's get back to how crazy they are.
yeah.
As I was saying about the ace trainers, is that their goal, their whole obsession is that they have to walk around talking about how many badges they have and how they're actually participating in the competition. But if they ever actually challenged the Pokemon League, they would run the risk of becoming champion, and thus they wouldn't be able to be in the trainer class anymore. So they all lurk, most of them lurk around the Evergrande City, unable to ever challenge them, but talking about nothing but challenging them. It's this weird paradox where they're just like, it's like if your entire life's purpose was eating a jelly donut, and you're standing right in front of a jelly donut place, and you're like, but if I eat the jelly donut, then I won't have a purpose anymore.
I love how you use the jelly donut as a metaphor here.
Works.
It does. Anyway.
So let's keep talking about this. So what do we see? We see people who are so obsessed with their roles that they, oh, here we go. So they start researching, investing their time, and if they don't go crazy, which they're probably going to go crazy, they actually become fully enveloped in this as a reality. And it's less delusion as it is actual investment and research and time. And then you see psychics who actually have psychic powers, and you see psychics who predict some decently interesting things. You see psychics with very powerful psychic Pokemon, you know? These psychics actually invested their time, and like when you see the more trippy ones, like they're legitimate psychics. This
Yeah.
game turned out to actually turn them into actual psychics. You know, in the trainer sprites, they're with balls.
And then you look at the new sprites for them where they're just weird people wearing purple clothes that have a
those are the people who
hairdo that
aren't-
stick up.
Kalos.
The they're the
Kalosians.
yeah, they're the Oros ones too, and they use the same sprite for those.
I miss my purple. It's a hat.
Hashtag it's a hat.
Hashtag it's a hat.
No, but
tiring.
I miss the original Gen 3 psychics. The original Gen 3 psychics were cool.
Yeah.
And then we've got the new ones that are essentially lightning storm hazards because their hair just kind of sticks up like it's some kind of a lightning rod.
That's the fashion side of it versus the LARPing side of it, you know?
Yeah,
In
really
some regions, it's more of a fashion statement. In other regions, it's more of a LARPing thing. And then we get into, so psychics, you know, you have fighters who just get insanely beefy.
Yeah.
Then
there's the battle.
Amateur things. Battle girls are fucking.
Yeah, the battle girls from the X and Y games just stand there with their stupid haircuts. They're just kind of like, huh. And then you've got the ones from the original Gen 3 games and the new games that seem to be defying gravity and are just kind of sitting there kicking in the air, doing absolutely nothing else.
The only thing you can assume is that through the whole fight, they're just like, here's the screen, and from off screen, they're like, yeah. From off screen on the left, yeah, like constantly jumping, just like constantly yawing. Like, first of all, it seems like they're crazy, but also, That's a lot of exercise to be able to do that many kya's. There's
Also, it seems like they're related to Link because that seems to be the only word he seems to be able to say.
I once saw a conversation where it was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Kya? Kya? And then they got really sad and they're like, kya. But I mean,
Anyway,
Battle Girl's another situation of someone getting to that point of no return.
yeah.
And then we get to back where we started with the Hex Maniacs and the other more interesting trainer classes.
Ooh, speaking of your Hex Maniacs,
Yes.
of course, you've got the Hex Maniac from Victory Road that is all completely like, oh my god, maybe I shouldn't be a freaking Hex Maniac anymore
It's
because
just
I'm
like they're
not
totally
cut out for
faking it.
this. And then you've got the one on the route before Laver City who's like, you know what, man? Like, life's so fucking, like, depressing, man.
Mm-hmm.
And all that other shit. And then there's the Hex Maniac. I love the design they gave this character. The fact that they made the Ghost Girl
A Hex Maniac.
in X and Y and in Oros a Hex Maniac, except for the Ghost character from
Phoebe's room.
Phoebe's room. That's not a Hex
That's
Maniac.
just a
I don't
kid.
know. That's just a kid.
A
But
dead
okay,
kid.
we need to figure out what his origins are later. But I love the fact that they made her a Hex Maniac because it's essentially the definition of the trainer class.
Yes, if you immerse yourself so much that you become a ghost, we have to realize that it's not just all games because Pokemon will see these people emanating all these auras that are to us just seem crazy, but to them it's like, to a normal person, to an ace trainer, ghosts are just ghost type Pokemon. There's nothing
Yeah.
superstitious.
And when it
But
comes to Hex
if you
Maniac,
immerse yourself in ghosts, if you research and if you sit in creepy areas and like pretty much just pray to them and like say, I want to, you catch ghost Pokemon, you sleep and breathe the ghost Pokemon, they start to either you start to think they talk to you or they talk to you.
yeah,
And then you either think you see ghosts or you actually see ghosts and you
yeah.
get exposed to either this completely real world of ghost type Pokemon, which is the most likely case, or you just hallucinate at all. And you actually gain abilities and
Yeah.
you probably start to look crazy because you're like, it's like finding out a government conspiracy. You
Yeah.
can't share it with anyone, but it's driving you insane.
Yeah. And okay, let's look at Valerie's gym for a minute.
Oh god.
Hold on. All of her Furasode girls are essentially, as for the fan theory of her being a member of the Kimono Girls, all of her Furasode girls are essentially fairies, and then she dresses them in whatever they're dressed in, and boom, she has her own team of Kimono Girls. And I'm like, okay,
The
now
creepy.
now we're gonna cut the kimono. Now we're gonna cut the Furasode girls out of the equation entirely. Let's look at the fairy girls. The ones that look like, I'm going to use this as an example. The ones that look like Princess Morbucks from Powerpuff Girls. The ones that look like her. Yes, I went there.
Fairy Tale Girls.
Yeah. If you look at the ones that are paired up with Hex Maniacs,
Oh god.
the Hex Maniacs are completely down to earth and completely natural.
Dude,
Then,
no.
hold on. And then you've got the fairy girls, which are, look at my fairies. Look at my fairies.
Okay, this
And
is
then
one
you've,
group of them.
yeah. And then you've got again the ones that are paired. Some of the ones that are paired up with Hex Maniacs, like the one outside the Lost Hotel, where it's the
Sorry.
battle. It's the sisters of Hex Maniac and Fairy Girl, and the Fairy Girl is just like, dude, let's battle with my fairy Pokemon. And the Ghost Girl, not Ghost Girl, Hex Maniac is essentially, dude, battle us and whatever. And then the battle ends, and the Ghost Girl's like, I keep saying Ghost Girl because it's the same sprite. You know what I mean? The Hex Maniac is like, maybe we shouldn't have battled you. And the Fairy Girl is essentially, hey, let's battle again later. Bye. And you look at them and you face palm and be like, I never want to battle another fairy girl ever again.
All right. So that's one group of them. That's the group of them that is part of this culture I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then there's the fairy girls who aren't trainers, just
You mean the
Either
fairy girls that are completely and utterly insane and live and breathe fairy type Pokemon?
I think either it's a little kid who got a bit too high in pixie dust, got kidnapped and taken away to the fairy world. A lot of fan theories that talk about them being just little people, which I think it's like they're like, oh, I'm old enough to be your mother, and it's like people take that as them being little people, and I take that as them being immortal. I think some people might not be thinking hard enough to think that they're just immortal and they're not midgets. Come on, little people. But like, I think that a lot of fairy tale girls aren't trainers. They're just fairies that have completely taken over some kid. Like the glow in their eyes. Like the Fury Sword girls are just girls who are immersing themselves in a fun game. The people with the dead eyes, the dead sparkly eyes, that's a fairy type has totally control of that body or something.
Mm,
And then that starts to have effects on them. They start living a long time, and they start talking about wanting to play with you forever and pretty much kill you or take you off to fairyland. And
yeah.
then what happens is they get paired up with these innocent hex maniacs who are just either girls trying to fit into a clique or girls who have been exposed to ghost types and want to learn and be with them and understand them
Hmm.
as magnificent
Yeah.
creatures. But they get paired up with these fairy tale girls
Hmm.
and they just totally take over their mind, fuck them up, make them think that they're sisters. And a lot of the hex maniacs will be next to a fairy type girl and they'll just be like
You
out of it,
mean
like hypnotized.
you mean kind of like with me and my bird keeper, how he and I are really in tune with
No,
each
no, no.
other?
I mean like a fairy tale girl walks up to an innocent day-to-day walking around shopping hexmaniac girl who just happens to be dressed up as hexmaniac, grabs their
Oh.
arm, teleports them into the woods, stares in their eyes and says, "You are my sister." Brainwashes them, then they walk around clenched on their arm, dragging them around like a doll, and then the hexmaniac's like, "Yeah, she's my sister." And then meanwhile people are at home saying, "Where's Stella? She was supposed to bring, groceries or whatever. She disappeared off the face of the earth." They're walking around the region, and then all of a sudden they see Stella, zonked out of her mind, being clutched by the right arm by a little tiny girl who walks up to them and says, "Hey, you want to battle with me and my sister?" That's the level of crazy shit fairies do.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, fairy type Pokemon are great. I mean, two of my favorite Pokemon are fairies. One of them happens to be half rock. But fairy types are awesome. Okay, Sylveon's great, Deonce's great, Carbink, all that fun.
It's just that they're evil.
Yeah. I mean, and let's look at Sylveon. Those ribbons aren't
Are
ribbons.
flesh.
They are flesh. I mean, fairy
Rub,
types,
rub, rub, rub.
fairy type Pokemon are amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Just like
But
ghost
some of their
Pokemon are
shit,
amazing.
but some of their
But some of
shit
their shit.
are, some of their shit's just messed right the fuck up. Cause you got Dedenne, who looks adorable as all hell. It's the
And it's just
Pikachu
totally
clone.
innocent fairy type. It doesn't have anything fucked up with its design.
No, there is nothing fucked up about it at all, and it's adorable as all hell. I mean, you've got Carbink,
Who's,
meh.
yeah, just, I'm a rock.
Yeah, Carbink's just kind of a rock.
And then you have things that rival Inkay's evolution.
Okay, yeah, let's not talk about Inkay's evolution because Inkay's evolution, as unique as it is using the gyroscope in the 3DS to evolve, we don't go there because let's look at Inkay for a minute. It's this lovely, adorable little squid thing.
Murderer, because it
It's
gets foul play at which is a base 95 move at like level 12.
Kirby, don't go on the stupid iPad. You don't want to walk on that. Ugh. Anyway, but you got Kirby. Shit. God damn it, cat.
I named my Zoomeril Kirby in my first run of.
Anyway, you got Inkay. According to its Alpha Sapphire Pokedex description, it flashes the light emitting spots on its body, which drains its opponent's will to fight. That's some in depth shit right there. And it's adorable. It's a murderer, but it's adorable.
There's too
But
much
then,
hypnosis in Gen 6. I mean, just hone it.
yeah. But then you flip the DS upside down at level
Malamar.
20, no, level 30, sorry, and it evolves into Malamar. I don't even want to go. I
Run.
don't
Just
even want
run.
to. I
Run.
don't even want to read its Pokedex description, but its Pokedex description is legitimately tempting me to do so.
Do it.
It lures its prey close with hypnotic motions, there's your hypnosis again, then wraps its tentacles around it before finishing it off with digestive fluids. That is
It's a
some
roper.
in-depth shit
Do you know
right
what a
there.
roper is?
Do I know the what?
A roper.
Yes, I do.
It's a roper.
Yep.
That shit
But
shouldn't be in Pokemon.
it's just like Hoopa. That shouldn't be in Pokemon either, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
We already discussed that.
We're 2.5 hours.
We already discussed that. But no, okay, yeah, fairy type Pokemon on the other hand, some of them, let's be let's be realistic
It's
here.
just like ghost types. Some ghost
It's just
types
like
are awesome and cute and everything, and then some ghost types take you down to hell. Hell, fairyland, what's the difference? One is evil, one is just
let's
supposed to be
use
there.
let's use a Gen 4 ghost type as an example.
You want to talk about
Dusk
Spiritomb?
Noir.
Oh, Dusknoir, yep. Grim Reaper.
Dusk Noir, the antenna on top of his head essentially is connected to the underworld.
Yep.
He connects to hell using the antenna on top of his head.
And a
And
Hex
then,
Maniac is just a girl who realizes that hell exists. No one else thinks about that shit.
yeah, I mean, Hex Maniacs are hang out with things like Dusk Noir. They hang out with stuff like Frostlass.
Uh,
Oh, such a beautiful Pokemon, but such a
Terrifying Pokemon.
terrifying backstory and origins and whatnot. But Hex Maniacs go a route with this lovely archetype of ghost type Pokemon. I mean, you got Gengar, who's a shadow. You've got Gen 2. You got
Etc., etc., etc.
etc.
Let's
etc.
keep focus on the trainer.
Yeah.
So, you have Hex Maniacs who envelop themselves with a bunch of cool Pokemon, and then they get exposed to some amazing things, and they just might seem a little crazy, but no Hex Maniacs want to hurt you. Every Hex Maniac is either just doesn't hurt you and is just crazy off in the corner and has no effect on your life, or like 80% of them all, or maybe even 90, almost all the Hex Maniacs help you in X and Y, selling you milk, which I'm not going to question where it came from, giving you TMs daily, giving you TMs all the time, giving you stuff, selling you stuff,
Ooh,
giving you information.
let's not forget about the one in Laver City that gives you the Gengar, right?
Yep, there you go. Or the one right before that that gives you Toxic and tells you how it works.
Yeah, really though.
Like I was like, oh, Toxic always lands if you use it with with the poison type. That's awesome.
I never knew that until that Hex Maniac told
I
me.
know, me neither. I never knew that Toxic wasn't 100% accuracy.
Me neither. I just kind of thought
I
it
think
was
they
a thing.
changed that. I think they changed that generation.
Anyway,
Good though, too.
yeah. But Hex Maniacs are 80% of them are helpful.
And guess what? 100% of fairy tale girls are assholes.
They are. I
Because
mean, there's
they're
one.
possessed.
Yeah. I mean, let's go back to Furisode girls because Furisode girls
But
always pack
they're
secret.
different. They don't have the eyes.
They don't have the eyes, but
They're
they
just
pack
plain
fairy type
alone.
Pokemon as well.
Yes,
Let's
and
look at
they're
them for a
probably going to
second.
end up fucked up.
They are probably, yeah. But if you look at them, some of the ones in the Oros games, like the one outside, I think the Pokemon Center in Moss Deep gives you something.
I think that's just a memory girl.
That's it. Yeah, she's the one that says, I can tell what your memories are with this Pokemon and
What
whatnot.
your Pokemon's memories are with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that one's helpful because you can use it and be like, I don't remember what happened with this Pokemon. Let's see what happens. They're helpful, kind of.
Yeah, but they're not fairy tale
Yeah,
girls.
they're not the fairy tale girls that are legitimately
And
scary.
who knows? Maybe when a fairy type trainer becomes possessed and everything, maybe they age regress. I mean, you wouldn't put it up to Japan to not. Japan does that. Japan loves that shit.
They do. I
Into
won't.
some
I
dark
honestly know I'm
stuff.
not the first one to say that Japan has done some fucked up shit in their time.
And they're totally fine with putting a roper in Pokemon.
We don't talk about that.
So 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 I think we've gotten our point across.
We've
So
gotten
let's
the.
let's let's get in review. So Pokemon trainer classes are a cult phenomenon that took over the entire world, probably through use of TV and role models.
Yeah.
The Pokemon trainers that kids look up to are either delusional or professionals that have
Yeah.
researched and spent time with things, and they have learned new things, and they've found new ways of life, or they're completely insane.
Mm.
Kids start to pretend this. They play little pretend games, or middle-aged men start taking up fishing or training up Machops because they're fishermen or sailors, and then they slowly they invest more time, they meet strange forces in the Pokemon world, they learn new things, and either they go completely
Mm.
insane in a paradoxical loop like ace trainers who never stop talking about the Pokemon League but never ever challenge it
Mm.
because that would break the foundation of what they do. And
Yeah.
then you have people like Pokemon breeders and Pokemon and then you have people like enthusiasts. You have breeders and bird trainers, and you have entertainers like the jesters and the flamethrowers and the guitarists, and you have people who is their job, like breeders and other people and all that stuff, and rangers. Like trainer classes are a giant cult phenomenon that's taken over every part of the Pokemon world, and it's in many ways a bad thing because it leads kids to just obsess over these things and think that's the only way to be a trainer, and it leads them down paths that and have them end up as 4-year-old, 100-year-old Japanese fairy tale girls, or it leads them to be a hex maniac who learns about things they would have never learned otherwise.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought of this as more of a negative thing before I started this podcast, but no, I feel like it's more of a positive thing as long as you don't get too crazy.
Yeah. There's one thing we never actually thought about too.
What?
Being born into the trainer class.
Oh my God! Don't even.
Of course, that's something we could totally
Oh my
go
God!
after.
We didn't even touch all the trainer classes in the Battle Maison. I mean, not Battle Maison, Battle Chateau. There's so many trainer classes in there. I mean, there's a maid who thinks she's a robot.
There's a maid who thinks she's a robot, and
That
may I actually say,
this roleplay stuff. This is what it leads people to do. Like you never know if a person's role playing or not.
she is one of my favorite
Oh my God!
characters
So yeah.
in all of X and Y, because I have no idea if she's actually an android or not.
Yep.
And that's
I
like
wouldn't put it
that's
past him.
I wouldn't put it past them to actually put an android
I mean,
in the games.
Zerosic had the perfect like mind controlling ninja super assassin spy agent robot suit.
Let's not forget about Courtney. Courtney, whose dialect legitimately sounds like she's a robot.
Which Courtney?
Team Magma.
Oh yeah, you obsess over thinking she's a robot.
I'm not sure if she's a robot because I never thought she was a robot back in the original games.
I mean,
but
the only robots I think we've ever seen are Trick Master's robots.
oh yeah, Trickmaster's robots.
Trick
Yeah,
Master's insane. He
the
has
trick.
some Riddler issues.
He has Riddler issues, but let's not forget the fact that the Trickmaster is the reason Emerald has his boots and shit, and his gun and his robot hands and shit.
True.
But the Trickmaster was helpful. He may be crazy and have some Riddler issues, but he was
More like he has Riddler issues, but he also has like superiority issues. He makes you say Trickmaster is great, Trickmaster is lovely, I'm Trickmaster's friend, and Trickmaster is amazing, etc., etc. And then he's like, when you finally beat Trickmaster, he just doesn't know what to do with his life. It's like
yeah.
the problem with trainer classes is that you can break a trainer class person very easily
You can.
if they're fully immersed.
I noticed something too about the Trickmaster's house. The Trickmaster has a TARDIS house.
True.
I'm not sure. Yeah, because let's think about this for a minute. Because the TARDIS
We all
is
know bigger
always it's bigger on the inside, and his house is like most buildings in the Pokemon world are larger than they should be on the inside. But no, his on the other hand, the actual TARDIS keeps adding rooms and removing rooms and moving rooms around. The Trickmaster's house, he's removing rooms entirely and switching them for something new.
He could just be a Hoopa.
He could very easily be Hoopa for
Oh
all
my
we care.
god.
But like the Trick
Oh,
Master is one of the
but
coolest
it's
characters
like
in the
that's why it
game.
goes away at the end. It's been 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, like we never really thought into the whole that
The
aspect.
Dex has an amazing episode on him during their Auras and Mysteries vlogs.
I'll
Um,
t- I'll take a look at that at
yeah,
some point.
that's where I got the whole Riddler thing from.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Which version of the Riddler? The our Batman
you'll
Arkham
see,
series one,
you'll see.
or okay?
Um, any other specific trainer classes we need to talk to that we don't want to talk to on a different episode that we want to talk about in reference to the socio-cultural phenomena of the trainer class as a global insane cosplay LARPing event
Hmm.
fashion show thing.
Well, you get your beauties.
Yup.
Um.
Yup.
You also, let's not forget the fact that you've got your contest goers, like your coordinators and
I
shit.
think coordinators deserve their own episode.
Coordinators, yes, they do deserve their own episode. But if we didn't mention them here, it wouldn't make sense if we actually went
Yeah,
to it.
get hype for coordinators.
Yeah, hype for coordinators. But I think the
As
one
few of them as there are in
coordinator,
the
yes,
games.
you're familiar. I think the two we have to specify are Lysia.
Fantina.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's Fantina, but
Fantina,
sorry,
Lizia.
three. You've got Fantina, you've got Lysia, and you've got Wallace.
Yup.
Lysia and Wallace are actually related.
Really?
Yeah,
Lizia is a Cetopolitan?
yeah, she's related to Wallace.
I need to research into this, but more importantly, is
Last,
Wally a
sorry, let me
Cetopolitan?
rephrase. Last I looked into, she is either Wallace's protege, like Ruby was, or she is Wallace's relative of some kind. She is
I don't know how
associated
old
with
she is.
Wallace in some
How
way.
old is she?
Because when it comes to the only time you place off against Wallace in the contests is in the final master rank ones
Never got there.
when it's both him and Lysia plus two others against you.
Oh my god, I wish I got to that
Plus,
point.
plus, people asked, okay, they gave us Mega Altaria. Where the hell is it? Lysia's Altaria Mega Evolves in contest.
Why? I wish I saw this stuff.
I love how I have to point this shit out to you. I had to point out the fact that
I got really far in contests. I got really far with my derp team of my Dustox and my Poochyena. I got really far, but I just had to finish the Coma run, and I never got around to it.
yeah, but no, Lysia is associated with Wallace in some way. I'm not sure if she was
I think we're getting into theory crafting here.
yeah, but
Secret potion or no scope lens. Scope lens.
Scope Lens, because Scope Lens is where we put our super discussion hype video.
Still need to do the second version of that once we get.
We
enough
will need to do
facts.
the second version of that when we
I
get
had a
enough.
giant fact checking listen. We just in researching, we just totally destroyed it. We're just like, nope, that's about N, not about Curum. Nope, that's about that. Nope, that's no. And then slowly this giant pile of stuff turned to, well, what do we have left?
Ooh, you know how you posted the Vine about saying you heard something in our recording?
Yes.
That was actually me whispering to my roommate so I wouldn't disturb you while
Oh
you were
my
halfway through your thing.
god.
So that when I said I know, that wasn't
No.
actually.
You said I'm not gonna do that right now.
Oh yes, well I'm not going to do that right now. That was it.
I could have sworn it was. Oh, I know something about Volcanion. I'm not gonna tell him right now. Like you were talking to the audience.
No, I'm not. I wasn't talking to the audience. I was specifically talking to my roommate because she was like, "Yeah, well, you know, we need to do this, that, and the other thing." I'm like, "I know, I'm not going to do that right now, though." So that's exactly what that was about.
Okay, so
Now that we've cleared that up,
now that we're in the leftovers section of the podcast, Pokepuns.
I gotta love them.
How do you let people know about yourself?
Ooh, me?
Yeah, because you're new to the channel, people don't necessarily know who you are. I still haven't made your icon yet.
Ooh, who am I?
And you can, by the way, you can totally have a Pokemon persona for this if you want. So now's your choice. Do you want to be Cutler or do you want to be Swift?
I am Swift. I am who I am. Um, I'm the Swift Swalo, but I go by Swift because it's shorter and it sounds cool. Um, I'm only really starting out again on YouTube because my last channel that I was doing that got ridiculously out of hand, and it
How?
turned into an everything channel.
Oh, right. Everyone I've run into says, "Oh yeah, I used to have a Pokemon channel. I used to have a YouTube channel, and now I don't. Now I just have a channel with one video on it. Same with you. Same with Bushy. It's just like,
Well, right now I only have the one video because I haven't either had time to make them or I'm having problems with my
hey,
topics.
I'll make videos with you on your channel anytime you want. You're part of the network.
Good to know. Um, so yes, the only video I have right now is a creepypasta reading and explanation of Hypno's Lullaby. And the only reason that that was the first video I did on my channel is because on my old channel, I read it on there. And I had 4 other people in the background. And that was my most viewed video. And I'm like, you know what? For the new channel, I'm going to launch it using this one video. So I did.
Did you tag the shit out of it?
Kind of. Probably not, because I wasn't thinking at that point. I
True.
just wanted to get the video there.
Yeah.
And people have viewed it, and it's not bad so far. Um,
I bet we'll do all sorts of things. Like we could probably do RP stuff on that channel too, in terms of
we could do
stories.
RP
We could
stuff.
just tell stories instead of having to write them in chat.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to
Um,
use the fucking text function on our phone for everything. We just
yeah,
say it. We could
that's
just say it.
yeah. Let's see. How many times have you meant one thing but your phone said the other?
What
um,
was the best one? It was one word. It was
I don't remember.
uh but there was also at the beginning before my phone learned what Gardevoir was there was a plethora of amazing autocorrects like God of War.
Yes,
And
God of
let me
War.
find what was the one that I sent to that it said when I was talking to Sam.
I don't know, but
It was
we could do RP stuff on there. I want to do
we could talk about
like
just stuff that I wouldn't be comfortable talking about on this channel in terms of like creepy Pokemon shit, like
yeah,
psychic types and ghost types and dark types and fairy
like
types.
yeah, we could go
Certain.
through all those. I'm planning on doing like rant videos. I've got a rant video that I made a really long Facebook post about on an old Facebook page I was on.
Yeah, rants. I mean, rants is your thing.
Rants are my thing, man.
Okay, okay.
And I'm
Okay.
trying to.
Here was one of Gardevoir's strange autocorrects. I'm going to have my breeder self be really fucking talented with all psychic abilities because of all the relationships with Ricardo Flores and everything.
Ricardo Floors? That's supposed to be a Gardevoir?
Ricardo Flores.
Okay. But
Oh my
not
god.
bad. But yeah, I've got one rant video that I have to make, and I have to find at least one positive thing about it before I actually go ahead and
Oh
crap
yeah.
all over it.
Before it's just like you gotta have a concession.
I've got
What's the
one.
topic? What's the topic?
The topic is the bomb mask from Majora's Mask. And I have one positive thing about the damn thing. Is while you have that, you don't really ever need the bomb bag. You can just kind of walk up to stuff, put the shield up, and then blow up anything that's in your way. I mean, that's nice.
Okay. Here's my solution to your entire problem with the bomb mask. As a tiny red card at the very end of the podcast because we need to wrap up.
Yeah.
What if the bomb mask doesn't blow up? What if it taps into your psychological brainwaves to generate a combustion in the space about 2 feet in front of you, so that it converts magic or some strange aura that you have, or maybe just the bombs in your bag or bombs stored inside the mask or something, and it generates an explosion in front of you.
Here's the issue that I have with that. It does not detonate in front of you. It detonates where you are. It
So it actually
detonates.
detonates behind the shield.
Yeah, I mean, as it detonates behind the shield, I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I thought that was
And
the entire purpose of the rant, was that you were pissed off that it detonates, that you're not protected, that you're protected when you put up the shield.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into an in-depth rant about that
Oh,
at some point once I
right.
have enough information.
And I will most certainly do a podcast about just the weirdest shit about not like a Jay Witz video. I mean like manga included and like role playing immersive stuff, like Pokemon World stuff, not just I'm gonna read top 10 stupidest fucking bullshit Gen 1 Pokedex entries and fucking bullshit. Fucking hate Jay Witz.
I'm a
He called cast form boobs. They're clearly balls.
seriously.
Or it was that or the other way around or something. But like he shit on cast form forever. For like 2 minutes.
Ooh, speaking of cast form, when we got Oros on the release day, my friend Karakara Studio, who I'm not sure if anybody on your channel knows who he is,
Nope.
but anyone who knows me will know who he is. He misspelt the word umbrella, which is what he was going to nickname his cast form. So it became
Ombre?
it became Yimbraka.
He
I
borked
still
it.
have
He
I
when you break something so bad, you break the word for it. Borked.
Yeah, I have the spelling. I have the spelling for it entirely, and it's hilarious how we spelled it. Um, but after that, both me and the Muddy Swampert decided we are going to nickname our cast forms this because this is the best shit ever. It's capital YM space capital BRACKAAA exclamation point.
Braga.
Yimbraka. So we all decided we were going to nickname our cast forms that because hilarity.
Okay, what the fuck is it with you and your friends and adjectives? The Swift Swallow, the Muddy Swampert. Come on. The alliteration. What's
Okay.
going on here?
Well,
Is this a clan?
no. Well, I mean, we got Caro Caro Studios, who's been on YouTube forever.
Alliteration.
Yeah. Then we've got the Muddy Swampert, who used to be Dorian R9, if anybody knows who that is. But the Muddy Swampert.
Wait, you're friends with YouTubers? Like legit YouTubers?
Not
Over.
like I've got friends who do YouTube stuff, and
Yeah, but
through
how many subs do they
Pokemon.
have? How many
Oh,
subs do they have?
I don't know how many subs Dorian R9 had. Caro has a shit ton though.
Must collab.
You
The
got
first.
the Muddy Swampert, who using Poke Amino got a bunch of subscribers who were watching his videos and stuff.
I want to
And
do that with Pokemino, but I'm so lazy.
yeah,
Plus,
I
somebody
have
hate me on my blog because I talk real.
yeah, but no we are actually physically friends. We know each other legitimately.
Ah.
The Muddy Swampert is my roommate's boyfriend, which is lovely.
Oh.
And Caro is a friend we went to school with. And we're all essentially one big happy family. We consider each other brothers and whatnot, which is
I'm going to school with the person one grade ahead of me in my major, who has 47,000 subscribers.
nice. But no, we're essentially a big, huge, happy family.
Why don't you bring them all to my network so that we would be an even bigger family and I can make them.
Yeah.
It's all jokes.
Yep.
Made $2 in 4 years.
Even with Andrew right now is we knickknack 123, but he's planning on doing a YouTube channel, Crooked Crocodile or Crocodile King
What
or
is
whatever.
with you and adjectives?
Whatever he comes up with, I don't care what he comes up with. He's basing his channel off Crocodile, and it's either going to be Crooked or
But
King.
why the adjectives?
Because
you and him and Muddy.
actually, we call him Swampy.
But he's the Muddy Swampert, the Swift Swallow, the Crocodile.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but I like it. I mean, you've got the Heated Mo,
Oh,
you've
come
got
on.
the King Nappy,
Oh, right.
you've got all of them, and
Okay,
it works
so
for them. Must work
let's
for
wrap
us.
up. Let's wrap up.
Yeah, wrapping up there.
Any last things?
Any last things?
And short things.
Oh, in short, I've got a cat on my shoulder who's trying to eat my headphones. That's my last thing.
I am Pat the Breeder,
I'm
and
Swalo.
And this is FullRestore signing out, hoping that you will fill your bag on all of our other wonderful items. We have a amazing scope lens, which is the super amazing podcast thing, super discussion Gen 6.5/7, where we talk about Gen 7 and
But
legendaries
this
and
is the one that
stuff.
was all hype.
This one's the one that was hype. We'll come up with one that's more fact-based, but like,
Yeah.
trust me, this one will have you on the edge of your seat and excited. And then 20 minutes after it finishes, you'll be like, "Wait, that couldn't happen. What?"
Yeah. And then we're going to get into an factual in-depth one. Kirby, if you eat my headphones one more time, you and I are going to have an issue.
We have secret potions on the Looker quests, Looker in general, in that episode with the Regimen. And then we have one on the Pokemon Adventures manga. The secret potion being our spoiler cast.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a new Versus Seeker very soon. The FullRestore podcast and the Red Card podcast are general podcasts. We made one earlier a few weeks ago that was at the middle of the night. It was like 1 a.m. podcast hype.
Yeah.
And I will be trying to get some gameplay on very soon. Also, if you want to learn about our new kind of runs we've been researching and making, that's the Max Survive playlist.
And then there's me who does nothing but Nuzlocke because I'm boring.
I'm gonna make some fun videos on your channel, man.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you can always upload stuff on our channel, and then like what I used to do with the collab channel I was in is what I did was on the Silphco mob, I upload videos on my channel. I upload them a week delay on the Silphco mob.
Yeah.
So you can always just use our channel to get viewers because go for it, man.
Yeah.
If you want, I'll upload videos onto the FullRestore channel. I want people to do that, and I'm totally fine if it's some deal with their own channel. I want everyone's channel to grow in this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we are a happy family now, eh?
Heyo.
You got me.
But
I
will make some fun videos for your channel. Some fun
yeah.
rants.
Fun rants. Ooh, I like fun
Good
rants.
bants. Good bants, fun rants. That's the series. Good bants, fun rants with Pat the ODST. All right, we need to go.
We do.
Goodbye, everybody.